Since the first whispers of trouble, the story of Nancy Guthrie has gripped hearts far beyond her hometown. Every briefing from law enforcement, every family update, every national and local report paints a chilling picture. As of Sunday, February 8th, 2026, late evening Tucson time, her disappearance has stretched into an agonizing 8th day. Nancy, 84, sharp-minded yet physically fragile, has been missing since the early hours after January 31st. Without her life-sustaining medications, her health teeters on a dangerous edge. The urgency is unbearable, and the fear that time may already be working against her grows with each passing hour. A beloved matriarch, Nancy Guthrie, is not just a headline. She is the cornerstone of a devoted family. After losing her husband suddenly to a heart attack, she raised 3 children alone: Savannah, a trusted public figure, Annie, a devoted daughter, and Cameron, a loving son who keeps his mother's memory alive in their Tucson homes. Friends and neighbors describe Nancy as joyful, fiercely independent, and full of love. She was a grandmother who wrapped her grandkids in stories, hugs, and security. Her home in the Catalina foothills offered desert tranquility and private nights. A life of warmth and light has been suddenly overshadowed by fear. The final evening Saturday, January 31st, began like any other family evening. Dinner, laughter, and shared moments ended with Nancy being dropped off at her home around 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. using her walker. The garage door closed around 9:50 p.m., leaving the house seemingly peaceful. Her phone remained silent, and her pacemaker, linked to an app, continued reporting normally for hours. Then, in the early hours between roughly 1:45 a.m. and 2:30 a.m., contact with her pacemaker abruptly stopped. That narrow window has become the center of the investigation. Something critical happened that night, shattering the sense of security in her quiet neighborhood. First alarms. By Sunday morning, concern turned to dread. Nancy missed her regular church service, something she never did. Friends reached out, phones went unanswered, and relatives arrived at her home around noon to find it empty. Deputies from the county sheriff's office quickly responded. What began as a welfare check escalated into a full-blown investigation. Signs of forced entry and damage to a door or window frame were noted. A small trail of blood inside the house raised immediate alarms. Sheriff Chris Nanos declared the home a crime scene within hours, signaling that Nancy had likely been taken against her will. A growing search. By Monday, the search intensified. Ground teams scoured the Catalina foothills, rocky washes, and cactus-covered hills. Helicopters and drones surveyed the terrain while volunteers canvassed neighborhoods. Surveillance from doorbell cameras, traffic cams, and license plate readers was gathered and analyzed. The seclusion of the area, with big lots and few nighttime witnesses, made tracing an exit or vehicle challenging. Despite the difficulty, evidence inside the home left no doubt. Nancy did not leave voluntarily. Her absence, combined with signs of forced entry and blood, confirmed the situation was dire. Every moment without her medication magnified the danger. The medical clock. Nancy's health is a critical concern. She relies on daily medication for heart and chronic pain conditions. Doctors warn that skipping doses, even briefly, can lead to weakness, confusion, or life-threatening cardiac events. Her pacemaker helps regulate her heart, but without her medications, her risk escalates hourly. Every day she remains missing pushes her closer to a critical threshold. Authorities and medical experts emphasize that the elderly can sometimes survive longer than expected if given minimal care, but the uncertainty makes each passing hour excruciating for her family and the wider community. Proof of life. The missing piece in this investigation remains proof of life. Although the family has expressed willingness to pay, authorities cannot move forward without confirmation that Nancy is alive. No time-stamped photo, audio message, or detail exclusive to her has emerged. Captors often delay communication strategically, but the health urgency here adds pressure. Investigators watch for behavioral shifts in the messages, noting impatience or anger as potential signs of stress that could lead to mistakes. The family and law enforcement are caught in a delicate balance. Patience versus urgency. Hope versus the harsh reality of medical vulnerability. Why there is hope? Despite the grim circumstances, experts remain cautiously optimistic. No body has been found, and no direct indication suggests Nancy is deceased. Statistics show that high-profile abductions with strong media and law enforcement attention are often resolved within the first 30 days. Elderly victims with medical needs are frequently recovered alive precisely because captors struggle to maintain care without detection. Sustained public attention combined with psychological and financial pressure can compel captors to act, sometimes leading to a late but life-saving breakthrough. Historical patterns suggest that hope, while fragile, is not misplaced. Investigative pressure. Authorities continue to analyze every detail. The person behind the latest demand may not be the same individual who entered Nancy's home. Investigators examine every sighting, every unusual vehicle, every conversation that might relate to her disappearance. Tips from healthcare workers, neighbors, and the community are vital. Even minor observations could be the key to solving the case. Law enforcement emphasizes that certainty is not required, just enough information to prompt further investigation. Every call, every detail, every moment counts as the search continues. Community vigilance is central to bringing Nancy safely home. The human element. Nancy never sought attention. She cherished quiet mornings, family dinners, church, and time with her grandchildren. She wanted dignity and independence in her home. That life was taken suddenly, and her absence has left a void felt across her family and community. Her children continue to fight tirelessly for her return, supported by volunteers and authorities working day and night. The story resonates because it reflects the fragility of safety, the vulnerability of the elderly, and the resilience of family. The nation watches, prays, and hopes with her, refusing to let her story fade into silence. A call to action. Anyone in the Catalina foothills or surrounding areas is urged to remain alert. Strange vehicles, unusual activity, or glimpses of an elderly woman in distress could be crucial. Tips can be reported to the sheriff's tip line, the FBI, or anonymous online portals dedicated to the case. Even small observations matter. The search relies on a community's eyes and ears, a network of vigilance that can make the difference between despair and rescue. Public attention and careful reporting may be the lifeline that finally brings Nancy back to safety. Every citizen's involvement could change the outcome. Keeping Nancy in the light 8 days have passed, yet the effort has not stopped. Nancy Guthrie remains missing, and every hour her health remains in jeopardy. Her family, authorities, and the public continue to hope, search, and advocate for her safe return. The story is far from over, but collective attention, prayer, and action keep her name alive. As the investigation progresses, facts are verified and leads are pursued relentlessly. The community's shared vigilance is essential. Nancy's resilience, the love of her family, and the determination of those searching may yet see her return. Keep Nancy in the light and bring her home.